So
And we're
this
live. So, hello there. I am Draco, and joining me today is KJ's. Hi, KJ.
Hi, but I wouldn't say joining since it's going to be like from now on to the end of time, kind
We're
of like a
co-hosts.
marriage.
We
Yes,
are
there you go.
co-hosts,
That's the proper word for it. Anyways, so
and
starting
this
off,
ship is sailing smoothly on ahead.
there is no stream without scuffing. You must learn that. You must know that this is the way.
Moving on. We're not having this
So
conversation
going,
live.
so we're going with this. So as you can tell in the title, we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk, a game that
Mhm.
has been in and out of controversy and hype for the past 7, 8 years since it was originally announced, and more so ever since like E3 2019, where we really got first glimpses of the games, and we had that whole iconic Keanu Reeves entering your breathtaking moment that everybody knows and should know. But so since 2019, we've been having controversies, backlash, and even now, a month into the game, since it's released, it's past a month actually. The game was released like the 10th, I believe, 10th of December.
I do not remember.
Well,
Um,
I'm pretty sure it was the 10th of December. I
let's
think it was
check.
the 10th. Well, we're checking that. But it's now the 11th, I believe. I don't even know the days I live in. The 11th of January, and it's been out for a month about, and the controversies have not stopped. If not, they've gotten worse. But it's not about the same things, obviously. That's a highlight. Um, you can
It was
anything
released
you
on
want to
December
say.
10th. You are indeed correct on that one, sir.
Ah, there you go. December 10th. I
Yes.
knew it. I knew it.
So, yes, it's been a
It's,
month. And well, there was some controversies that were stupid and made half-assedly, whereas others were actually legitimate, which we should probably point those out.
starting off with the legitimate ones, which are actually, as it turns out, the newer ones, because now people can have played the game for what it is, have seen the game for what it is, and the controversies that are now are just the real shit, which is it's a buggy mess that doesn't deserve to be a buggy mess.
Indeed, so much so that they are now facing a class action lawsuit.
And from all their investors, I would be mad too. If I'm going to be honest, as an investor, looking at it as an investor, I would be mad. I mean, we were promised quite literally the moon and the stars, and what we got was an acid trip in a back alley van, which kind of sucks
Yeah,
because the moon and the stars are there. If you play the game, and Draco and I have played the game. I played the game since release. Draco just got it recently. How long have you been playing it?
I've recently gotten to do Jackie's Ofrenda, so
There you go. So
I'm
it's,
still
it's
very
only
much
been
early in.
yeah, you're like a few hours in the game. I've already gone through one playthrough. I'm going on to my second, and I plan to do 3, 4, maybe 5 more. But when you play the game, you realize that damn, this is a really good game, and this game has so much potential. It has lived up to every expectation that we had and we were given. It's a game that would set the mark, that would really define what we can do in terms of story, gameplay, and just all around creating a world.
Yeah, the
But
RPG and the open world elements were actually, from what I've seen, are definitely well made.
oh, for us, it's one of the better ones.
Hmm.
But coming into that first week, where I would have friends who were telling me because it was part of the joke, just announcing the bugs that we would find because it was so common to see them. So we would come in and we would say, I was playing through for like 5, 6 hours. The game crashed like 3 or 4 times. it was to the point where, if, for example, when I was playing, I wouldn't get by a day of playing, which would be like, for me, which I would put 3, 4, or 5 hours into the game daily, and I don't know, those are rookie numbers, but I got other games to play. And, I got D&D campaigns and other games to play. I'm not going to put all the time, as much as I wanted to, into it.
Yes, it's the primary reason why I haven't gotten that far in, because I myself am running 3 separate games and I have to plan for all of them.
But it's
The life
fun.
of a dungeon master.
Being a DM is fun. Okay? That's why I'm starting one. That's why I want to play and be a DM again.
Okay, but focusing back on the game.
Right. So yeah, it would go through playthrough, like when I was playing 5-6 hours, 4 or 5-6 hours, and I would crash at least once, almost faithfully. Apart from the the visual bugs, but everybody expects visual bugs in a game. You're never gonna have a game without any visual bugs.
Yeah, that reminds me of a little glitch I saw earlier today. I saw a man walking through a set of stairs, but instead of going up them, he went right through them. I'm just like, oh, okay, so You're a Martian from DC, okay.
Well, a bug that I like to that still it haunts me to this day, because for some reason nobody has it, or at least people who have it just haven't been complaining enough. There's a problem from switching first person to third person in a car. Sometimes it doesn't happen, sometimes it does, but late. So you're like slamming that key, which is, I believe, the right facing crosshair key.
I believe that is the one.
So you slam that shit and it keeps going and it keeps going. You're like waiting for it to come out, but it doesn't. And I'm forced, and I don't like driving in first person. I play GTA. I'm trash driving first person. I drive third person or nothing. And I'm having to be forced to learn to drive in third person has been the most stressing experience of this game. Not even playing it in the max difficulty. Max difficulty is nothing. Driving in first person is where it's at.
Okay, then.
Especially when you have a car that in the later in the game you get faster and faster cars, and you can also get some quite early in the game if you save up money. So,
or if you steal it from random people.
Yeah, but what's the fun in stealing when you can just call it up and you have your sexy little vehicle coming in? I'm a personal fan of the Quadras. You look up if you see the Quadras, Draco, you're gonna love them. They're really fast. They're kind of like muscle cars. That's why I like them.
Well, I'm still trying to pay off Victor, so.
Paying Vic. One of the most useless things. The only problem is that Vic gives good shit. Vic gives good shit as a ripper.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've suffered a setback because after dealing with Okanda, I believe, she's supposed to give a reward for the tiger tattoo.
Wakako, yeah.
Wakako.
And Wakanda's the place in it.
I didn't say Wakanda, I said Okanda, which is different.
Oh my bad, I heard
which
Wakanda, I'm like, well...
Which I think is her last name.
Oh, God.
But,
close but far. Oh, yeah.
But then I couldn't find it because I'm like, okay, where's the free shit? And I was just like, is this just the first random purchase you get? And I found out the hard way that no, so I ended up buying a little chip for the back of the head. It's better than the one I had, but it was expensive as fuck. And there goes all of my Victor money.
Oh yeah, but actually, honestly, those Ripper Dock upgrades are actually really worth it. Like, and mostly it's because of the mod space. Because the difference between a common tier item and a rare tier item is almost none. But when you get those, if you manage to buy those legendary tiers, that's when the mod slots come in. And if you save up those mods, you can just deck yourself out to how you want it to be. And they're not really that expensive. Like, one of the most expensive items I've seen has been around 50K, and that's like, and 50K you can get in like 3 hours of just running around the world doing random missions and selling stuff.
Yeah, I probably need to. I've been selling every single like gun that I'm not using, which is except for like the custom handgun that I got, because I have to upgrade that one.
Dying Knight.
Yeah.
Dying Knight. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's fully automatic. It's good, and as you can see, we've been talking praises of this game, and we haven't even gotten to the bad stuff, and that's what's sad.
Yeah.
Because for a
It has
game,
good potential, but
for a game that
that initial launch is just disgusting.
and and it and it keeps evidence keeps coming. People keep getting investigations and interviews and stuff, and you're showing that the company did the big no-no, which everybody's been fighting against this year and the year before was crunch on those developers, which actually sucks. I mean, I wouldn't want to be forced to put in more hours to have someone breathing down my neck saying, "Hey, you got to do this right." And
It's just that
in a
rushed
way,
work is never appreciated on anyone because,
no, exactly, because you can't really put out your full. It's not a labor of love. It's more just labor.
yeah, it's just labor. Period.
It's just labor, and it sucks. And it sucks because this game had so much potential. And
Indeed.
what I love about this too is that when we play the game, we literally can just spit in the face of all those people that were talking shit about it 2 years ago. Because, for example, one of these articles from Polygon, I don't know if you can pull that up, Draco.
Oh, I can, and I currently do.
Read the title. CD Projekt Red explains controversial Cyberpunk in-game ad featuring trans model. When you read it like that,
the what was it called again? The mix it up, I think it is.
yeah, it's a drink.
Yeah. Here,
It was a
mix it
drink.
up. You can see it here.
And when you look at it
God.
and you're like, that's when you look at the title, you're like, wow, crap, that's kind of bad, you know. You don't want to hear somebody making controversy. You want to hear a game already having controversies when it's not even out. When all that people have
Yeah.
seen is literally an E3 trailer, and to a degree, this was kind of warranted because prior to that, I believe the Cyberpunk Twitter page made what was considered a transphobic joke, but it was really the "Are you assuming their gender?" joke.
Yes, but
But
again,
it's
this
Twitter.
is one of those controversies that was stupid because nobody really cares. I mean, everybody understands the whole theming concept that the game's world is set in. So complaining about this is entirely fucking retarded. But then again, I
Because-
probably shouldn't say that word because that's also a no-no word.
That's true. There's just so many words that we can and can't say.
Not that
we
we
have to
care.
be so generalized and specific and not specific at the same time. We can't single out
Yes.
people, but we have to single it out somehow. And in this case, when you have the author, the actual artist saying, "Yo, I am all for trans rights and all that shit," as a bi woman, I believe she says. So in this very article, they give a little excerpt of what the questions they gave her, and she's like, "I'm just bringing out a message." In real life these days, hypersexualization of people as ad material is constant, and we see it all the time. We see it in those perfume ads, we see it in those sports drinks ads, and seeing it something like in a video game, you don't expect a video game to make a commentary about real life as much as this game has.
I believe
And-
here are some of the quotes the person you are referring to has said.
I forgot her name. Redisly. I'm not even gonna pronounce that. You know what? I'm not going to butcher a name in a language I probably do not know, because I'm pretty sure I will not be able to pronounce it and do any justice in trying to pronounce that. And it's funny because one of the first things that we learned about Cyberpunk 2077 is the fact that we're in a world where you can modify every part of your being. And even throughout the gameplay, we are literally seeing that we can modify just about every part of our being. Because if you go into the River Dock and you see what's on those, like what are those modifications, you notice that it's your brains, it's your lungs, your circulatory system, your heart, your arms, your legs, your bone, your skeletal structure.
Yeah,
So
it's
we are.
It is definitely a world where you can literally modify yourself to whatever extent you want.
I mean, Even character creation. What? Tell me, what character? What are you playing, Drago?
A female that has a bit of an extra attachment down under.
You're playing a futa.
Yes, that is what the layman would call it.
See, and there ain't nothing wrong with it. If you like futas, that's on you. I'm just kidding.
Okay, buddy. Okay,
but one
KJ. I'm gonna put my foot down on that one.
But one thing, but the underlining feature, the real thing here is you don't even play the game. You're not even starting the damn game. And even the character creation is expansive to the point. I would have preferred a bit more minute details. Just I would like to micromanage. I like micromanaging, so I felt like there weren't enough options in the character creation. But it's a lot. There's a lot of things.
Yeah, and I believe it's one of the few games that legitimately lets you work with your genitals.
And it's one of the only games I've seen
That isn't
and maybe it's
directly
because-
related to sex, by the way. I should probably put that as a caveat.
That's true. And it's one of the only games I've seen that where when they say choose your body type, not gender, but body type, and they say what's your voice, and they literally give you a notification saying if you choose a male body type with a female voice, you will be referred to by she, her pronouns in the game,
Yeah.
and vice versa. So if you're male body type, the male body type and male voice, well then he, him, and if you female body type with male voice, he, him, so on and so forth. So you don't even play the game and you're already getting these people who try to just at every moment defeat it, say, hey, these guys are whatever phobic we want to use, whatever colorful word we want to throw at them. And the first thing you see is no, they're not.
Yeah, it's definitely inclusive in that regard, though I loathe using that word due to how poisoned it is. However, the people who are quite frankly attacking it are closed-minded in and of themselves, because the game is set up to what they decide is their standards, not understanding that that's not how the art medium works. That's not how creations of the arts is. The arts is the person, in this case the developers of this game, and what their desired outlook for at least for this game is. It is a chance for you to see the world that they are envisioning. In this case, it happens to be one based on a role-playing game, one where you could have such body modifications and all forms of things. And yes, it's like, oh, this character is being hypersexualized in this poster. If you look around the entire game, they're hypersexualizing everything. There's a guy that's being hypersexualized, there's a woman that's being hypersexualized, just everyone. Why? Because everything has been taken down to the lowest common denominator, which at this point is just, sexy men and women.
Selling.
Yeah.
Being able to sell, because in this world, corporations, or the corpo as the game likes to call them,
Yep.
they control everything. They are at the top dogs. They are the high standard of society. They are the ones who look down upon us, the normal folks, and say, no, we're the ones who are actually pulling the strings here. We're the ones that want to control every aspect of your life,
Yeah.
indirectly or directly.
Yes, they are the corporate elite that believe themselves to be the rulers of Night City, and the rest of us are mere peasants that should be happy with what they give.
Pretty much. And so when you go back and when you look at all the problems that it had and all the issues that we were going with, and you're like, damn, this sucks so much. This sucks so much because the game doesn't deserve this. And then you have the class action alert because the investors were mad.
Yep, which is why
Because
they...
Sony literally pulled the game out. Sony and I think even Xbox pulled the game out of the store for a time, and they were offering full refunds.
Yeah.
And that's it's sad to see that someone gets to that point where they're forced to give refunds. They're forced to pull the game out of the store because of how much of a mess it was in the beginning. And then we have the issue where those first hotfixes were delayed for whatever reason. I heard a rumor that was because they were trying to install this new seizure warning system because people were complaining that the seizure warnings weren't enough. I don't know how true this is. I just heard the rumor, and
I'm sorry, but like a person who has seizures is warned literally by every single console and game that they should be worried when playing games. So, like, they've had those warnings plastered their entire lives. Like, Sony, Cyberpunk should not have to put any extra effort. Because,
I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
Like, they should always do it. They should always have it. And it's there. First thing, when you're loading up into the game, says there's a big old little screen saying seizure warning, a lot of flashing lights and colors here. You play at your own risk.
Yes. Also, I do not believe that Xbox has pulled it.
No, it was just Sony.
Yeah, I think Sony was the only one. Well, there is an article though saying that Xbox should pull it though.
They should. That sucks too. I'm sorry. And the majority of the problems I was seeing, I wish I could pull up statistics. I don't know if anybody really pulled out those statistics, but they're saying is, and down the grapevine, the lay of the land, the voice of the people, that the game runs pretty well on PC and the newer gen. I said Play 5 and the Xbox.
Yes, because they
whatever it's
surprise, surprise, they were designed for that. Once the systems were announced.
Of course, I mean. Originally, they weren't. But then I feel like they just, full focus. Let's just make it work better for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, whatever it's called.
Indeed.
What is it? Is it Xbox One X? No, Xbox.
Yeah, it's Xbox One.
It's not Xbox One.
My bad. The Xbox Series X.
Series X. There we go.
Yeah.
The refrigerator.
The refrigerator. We can't talk much. We got Seto Kaiba on our end.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're good with that. So we have Seto Kaiba and the refrigerator, who just came out. They made the game, and the game runs well on them. And as always, the game will run well on any PC. So, in essence. Maybe it was just bad preparation, and just the need to pull out the game because the game was promised to us at the beginning of last year, and they're like, "Hey, we need to delay this. We're not ready." They did that 2 or 3 more times in the year, and while yes, as a consumer, I honestly had only been waiting for the game for about 2 years. I have friends who've been waiting for the game for 6-7 years. You and I have a common friend, Drago, that had been waiting for the game since the minute it was announced back in 2013, I think it was. And you're like, wow, okay. It kind of sucks that the game's being delayed. Like I'm kind of annoyed. I was like, shit, man, I really want to play this game, but I have the mentality saying, damn, if they're delaying this game so much, they really need to it really means that they want to perfect it. They want to give us what we're expecting.
Yeah, when I heard about the delays, I was basically just like saying they're probably just encountering a few bugs that they weren't there originally. They're probably fixing a handful, and as they keep going in, they probably end up finding a few more bugs, and they just want to fix them all before releasing. But then, of course, the Twitterati gotta fuck it up somehow by demanding the game be released.
Honestly, you know what? I feel like it was a pressure on all fronts. I feel like it was a pressure of their investors. It was the pressure of,
let's be honest,
the consumers.
The investors would have probably not been as pushy if the fan base wasn't as riley as it was.
Yeah, we had it had come to the point where we, the fan base, had been demanding something out of them. When honestly, it would have been better if we had waited.
Yes.
And if the game needed another year to release to the
I mean,
perfection that we see it as, and a year as an extreme. If the game needed
yeah,
another
because
year,
they were saying by February they were gonna have all the bugs fixed. So in other words, we just needed to wait 2 months. That was it.
well then, 2 more months. I say the game needed to be what's after February, January, February, March,
March.
March. The game released in March, perfect, or at least as perfect as it can be, with just visual bugs that happen to every game. Funny visual bugs where like, oh my god, and we would see it posted on Facebook. Look at this shit, or posted on the Reddits and the forums, and he's like, haha, and everybody would laugh. That's so funny, and whatnot. Like we laugh about every visual bug we ever encounter.
Hmm.
Then maybe the stories would have been different. Maybe we wouldn't be here talking so much about the controversies, if not singing praises and glories about the game, which we still do, which we still are doing,
Yeah.
because the game deserves them.
Though I will say it is somewhat suspicious that there was a decision to release it on Christmas, which is known to be a very good time, a very lucrative time for games.
Honestly,
Along with all
it's
of the NDAs that a lot of people were forced to sign when they were giving copies to review games, particularly those of streamers and other gamers on other social media platforms. Because remember,
just
they
makes
weren't allowed to show actual gameplay. They were just told to, when asked about footage, they were just told to use trailer footage, which is suspicious as all hell.
so we're going off and we're seeing. It's just a storm. It was just a storm brewing, and a lot of things came down on them that they did not prepare for properly, and it bit
I'm
them in
just
the
saying that
ass.
as it currently looks now, it looks like they knew what the state of the game was. They didn't care to fix it because they wanted to release it for the sales on Christmas. And that's weird. Sorry, something a pop up up here. Anyways, so yeah, they wanted to get the Christmas sales done. They basically didn't show any gameplay from anyone. Whatever they showed was specifically on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. And then they just released the game. And by the time all of the stuff happened, they had already made bank.
And even then, with a lot of those refunds coming through, they probably still made more money than they. We had pre-orders. We had one of the game. That game was easily became one of the biggest games in pre-orders alone. And last year, and I think even the year before, in 2019, ever since they announced, "Hey, you can pre-order this game," and people literally pre-ordered the game a year before release.
Yep, but that was a mistake now, wasn't it? The entire gaming community has learned a very important lesson, and is that companies are abusing the pre-ordering of games. They are
And it's not
simply
so much.
they're making promises, and they are under delivering because they already have our money.
And it's not even and we can't blame the developers of the game, the people who are actually working on it. The only people we can really blame are the big wigs, the people sitting at the table shouting down from below saying, "Hey, do this, do that. Only go up to this amount because we already got the money, and we'll just like those live service games." Remember a while back, you remember Anthem and
Oh,
that
that
shit show?
That was a shit show and a half.
Those live service games where we had this entire controversy over live service games because they would send us shit like trash and little by little update it, knowing what they sent, saying, "Oh, just gotta bear with it. You'll get
Yeah.
better over the years."
And
And
basically, it's just saying that they're just releasing an unfinished game, and then they released the finished version of it as DLC.
literally, and thank God, Cyberpunk was at least, at the very least, playable to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
That the only issues, the only half-assed part about the game was in reality the playability, the smoothness of it. The world being built, the coding, the bugs not being there. Because if they had gone and had the audacity to give us less than what they gave us, shit, man, I would sue, and I would sue some more. And then I would have asked for a refund because I fell in love with the game. But even I would have asked for a refund.
Yeah, I was actually kind of worried because I did know I put this on the Christmas list, and I was kind of worried. I'm like, I hope no one gets if I get this for Christmas. I really hope that it's worth. So far, it's been worth, but there was that fear.
No,
And
that's
another point is like this is specifically the big wigs of CD Projekt Red because obviously big wigs also tends to include investors, but considering that the investors are now suing CD Projekt Red over this whole discussion, we can largely assume that they were probably not
they weren't in the
involved
loop.
in this. No.
They definitely weren't in the loop. They were like, okay, we've been promised this game of the decade kind of level of thing because that's what was advertised. That's what was given to us and fed to us.
Mm-hmm.
That this game would be the game that we would tell our kids about. Like shit, man. I remember playing Cyberpunk 2077, one of the best goddamn games I ever played in my fucking life. And what did we get? Anything but. In the sense that at first appearance. And so the investors are like, yo, I dumped my money into this. I expected that at the very least, the product that was promised be there in its entirety. Not me having to dig through the filth and close my eyes a little and squint to not see the issues that were there. Just to look at the core of the game, the story and the world, and some parts of the gameplay, because even the gameplay was buggy.
Yes, but of course the main issue was the misleading information to not only the public but the shareholders themselves were apparently also lied to.
Oh yeah, that's a big no-no there. You just don't lie to your shareholders.
Yes, because again, the only footage they were apparently showing was that on either PC, Xbox Series X, or PS5. Of course, due to a certain little thing that happened last year, production of such systems weren't really had, unfortunately, as experienced by the shortages of said systems. So it was largely understood that a lot of people would be playing this on PS4 and Xbox One, and even then they still released it for those platforms, knowing full well that they were going to be a shit show.
These are all issues that they had just brought upon themselves because they defeated all the previous misconceptions. All those SJWs coming in trying to bash at every situation of the game because that's what they've been doing. That's what they always do. Trailer barely comes out. These SJWs come swooping in like the vultures they are and try to nitpick at every damn aspect of the game. Not only the game, but the developers, the people behind the game, claiming, "Oh, this is racist, this is homophobic, that's transphobic," and this game quite literally defeated all of them. Because one, you can be a transgendered person, you can have a straight relationship or a gay relationship in the case. So you can, if you're, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's already been a month, so fuck you. if you don't know this, I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry at the same time. But if you're female, you can get with Judy. If you're male, you can get with Panam, and so on and so forth. I think if you're dude, there's Carrie that you can get with, and if you're girl, I think one of a cop that's for the straights. So it's like two options, both male and female, for both body types of the game and whatever identification you want to have as the game. And and it was told to me that for Judy, because what determines the attraction to the person is body type slash and voice type. So if you're a female with male package down below, the sexy scene that you get with Judy changes if you have the male package or if you don't.
All right, then.
Which
That's
is
a little tidbit.
quite interesting. Which is why I will have to run a game, do a playthrough with a female package, a female system down below, and B with male package down below, because I need to know the differences. And it's not so much because I want to see that, it's because science.
So it's not because of the plot, it is because of the plot.
No, it's because I'm quite curious. I want to see the differences. I want to be able to have the game there as like, I want to see, oh, this is how they made it if you did this. This is how they made it if you did this. The one thing I'm pretty sure that doesn't change is the scene that you get with Panam. Still one of my favorite scenes in the game, because Panam revealed herself to be one kinky person, and that's fun.
Okay, so that happened.
You will. I'm just recommended. Play as a male the game once. Play as a female the game once. Experience how the people react to you in both cases, and you just really get an expansion of how much time that they put into this, and it just makes you sadder too.
Indeed.
I get depressed. Because I see, damn, they put so much time into this. The game has so much little tiny details. But fuck, man, couldn't you at least just make sure? Couldn't you have, I don't know, just said, fuck it, let's just wait a bit more? Nah, let's just go greedy. Let's just go for the fucking Christmas sales. Because that's probably what they did. Let's just go for those Christmas sales and let's make sure we get that money. God damn it. From a company where we expected so much more. Because The Witcher is a game that is praised by many.
Indeed.
For being so good. I've never played it. I never had the opportunity, and
Neither have I.
I probably should get onto it just to see how it is. I mean, I watched the Netflix series. I mean, who hasn't? It's freaking. What's this guy's name? Superman.
Isn't it Klain or something like
Henry.
that? Oh, Henry
Cavill. Henry Cavill. It's Henry Cavill. Come on, that guy's awesome. And playing as The Witcher. Art. But anyways, the game's good. It's a damn shame what's happening, but they brought it upon themselves.
Like, CD Projekt Red has lost the faith that the gaming community had in it.
They took it, they stepped on it, they wiped their asses with it, and it's a damn fucking shame.
Yep. They were riding the high of Witcher, and they have now crashed down horribly and burned.
Mm-hmm. That's honestly,
and it's gonna affect their next game. Like, their next game, if it has pre-orders, it's probably gonna have very low pre-orders.
People are gonna come with that,
and the initial sales are gonna be very low as well.
People are gonna be apprehensive about it. Shit, even I'm gonna be apprehensive about it.
I'm sure as hell not gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna be excited about it. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna wait till people actually play this before I even so much as touch it.
Literally, it's not so much so. It's like we're gonna wait. People are going to wait for that at least a week for day one patch to get out and for reviews to get out to say, oh, is this game like the last one, or are we getting another Witcher like we should have gotten?
Yeah. Cause definitely, currently all of the best companies that we had in high regard, Nintendo, CD Projekt Red, they've all gone the shitter for different reasons. For one or another.
Some people might. greedy
Yeah.
motherfuckers that they are. But then again, what the hell? It's
Yeah, but
capitalism.
Nintendo beforehand was actually pretty nice. And there are still very much game development teams that are pretty good. Case in point, Monster Hunter. That's a development team that isn't taking part of these modern practices. Just as an example.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
they release full games with no horrible glitches that I am aware of.
as far as we know,
Yeah. Except
up till
maybe
now, that is.
yeah, except like I know PC has its issues, but that's just PC being PC.
Apart from the fact that people like to mod their games till it crashes. So what the hell?
Yeah, so that's mostly people going out of control. They're probably doing a little bit too much, but
Well,
the
I
point
think I've
is,
said.
people like it when you give them a full game that works, and you don't overpromise or flat out lie.
And in the long run, if you get to play it, you come to realize, the game was good. It was just the delivery.
Yes, we just hope that CD Projekt Red decides to do 180 away from this and not go full EA on us.
That everyone learns from their lessons, both the consumers, us, the consumers, and them, the producers.
Looks over to EA, who still hasn't learned their lesson.
Oh, but come on, it's just fucking EA. What the hell do you expect, man? That's just can't really go there. So I think we've said our piece about this, and I hope you've enjoyed.
Yes. Well, we haven't actually we've gone over like a few things, but we haven't actually gone through the articles themselves. Unless you wanna
Oh, that's
go
true.
through them specifically. We've gone over them like superficially.
Oh,
We should
look,
probably.
I mean-
we have 3 articles and we haven't gone through them yet.
I mean, we have them there for people to read. We've got pulled our opinions on it. Because honestly,
Yeah.
I don't want to do a read along. You don't want to do a read along.
I mean, the class action
But they're
lawsuit doesn't
there.
really have that much.
No, and
terms of, it's barely
the
much
quick
there.
read,
But,
and the quick read, like the E3 shit-ons, like for example, the controversy. That's a quick read to the of the tranny actress, and the other one that I
Yeah,
gave
like
you.
this one was stupid.
Yeah.
Honestly, this one was stupid, and Polygon just needs to fucking die as a freaking news site because it is full of garbage and shit.
Pretty much. And this other one,
because
which,
it's like the whole like, oh, it's hypersexualizing in fiction. Yes, because that's the setting. The setting hypersexualizes people to sell. That is how literally the world works. If you can't get that through your head, you're stupid.
yeah, and this one, this other one, the other one, the Cyberpunk 2077 E3 demo has weak gunplay and unimaginative stereotypes. In reality, it read like a 12-year-old kid saying, "Oh my, this is scary. I don't like this. Oh,
Yeah.
I feel bad." Because honestly, it's a M-rated game. God damn it. Do you not expect people to be
Also,
mowed
what
down?
do you mean by weak game gunplay exactly? Because you can customize your character to work however the fuck you want it to. So you could be a heavy gun-toting, light
This
machine
guy-
gun guy and just taka your way through the game, or you can be a stealthy ninja and have literally wrist blades come out and just stab people from behind.
So what he wanted to play and what he wants to go, but his one complaint, because it's actually like one sentence in the goddamn article talking about
Or
the
is it
gunplay,
like,
and it's
highlight it?
it is right under like the second picture where they show the
So this one?
yeah the one with the chairs. You see it, right?
Shares. I'm trying to see. Wait, which
Okay.
paragraph is it?
Oh my god, coming from it's the fourth
paragraph?
image. No, fourth image. It's like, okay, it's like the 10th paragraph. You see the paragraph, the image, the one where they show the tranny ad.
Yes, I'm currently here.
The image under it,
Okay, so okay, now I see the chair.
the paragraph under that one.
So on a very different note, the shooting looks limp. Bullets by shot.
What I'm
Wait,
assuming
wait.
this
Okay, wait. I
guy
just wanna, hear
wanted.
this out loud and try to understand this. On a very different note, the shooting looks limp. Bullets pile into people as their health bars tick down, each shot lacking impact despite goon after goon tumbling to the floor. I hoping I won't need to resort to my gun too often, though abilities like turret manhandling spice up what looks like to be a piddly gunplay. Yes, because in a world where you can modify your body, you can turn yourself into a literal tank. You
Actually,
stupid retarded fuck.
for crying out loud, one of the fucking the Ripperdoc modifications, the one for your muscle system, it increases your armor directly. It is literally, if you look at it properly, it is literally them making your muscles, I believe it was the muscles,
Yes, it's the muscles.
metal,
Yeah.
so that you are more resistant to bullets and damage altogether.
Yes.
For crying out loud.
Here's the obligatory. Oh, here we go. The handling of the non-whites. It's like, oh, it's
Well,
just
yeah,
some
because
stereotypes, which is
he's basing them off of this trailer. He's basing off his opinion, this trailer and the E3 trailer that this guy, I think his name's Max, the guy who made the article. He's basing his opinion off the trailer. In the trailer, we see he goes after
Max,
the
by the
animals. This is an actual mission in the game. You haven't seen this one mission yet. It's actually it's still in the beginning, but it's closer to the end as well. It's not halfway. It's like a quarter of the way through the story. Basically, the setting
I think
here.
I heard about this one. The Voodoo Boys, right?
The Voodoo Boys. When the Voodoo Boys come out, for the Voodoo Boys, you only interact with the Voodoo Boys like twice, and they just send you on this mission to deal with the animals. And the animals is a gang. There's various gangs, and his little complaint here is the fact that the animals were mainly black, the ones shown in the trailer, and that you were like mowing these guys down with bullets. These people labeled as animals that were black, and anybody who plays 15 minutes in the fucking game in the area where the animals reside, because everybody has their own territory.
Yeah, because they're gangs, by the way. Surprise, surprise. Gangs are violent.
Gangs are violent. You can tell that animals, for at least, are very mixed. And the boss of that very level that they show was a white lady, modified up to the teeth. I believe it was white. I don't know. The lighting was kind of weird. She probably could have been black. I didn't know. I don't see race. I don't see race. I just see the bloodthirst to kill. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, we're
Problem.
colorblind to the race of people here because we're not racist.
No, as long as they stare down the muzzle, I don't give a shit. As long as they eat the bullets I send them, because I'm doing this. I'm running a smart weapons because I slept on smart weapons. They're fucking amazing. But so they eat bullets. I do agree on one thing. You kind of feel weird saying, "Damn, these guys taking a fuck ton of bullets and they ain't dying." But when you think about it, hey, I just bought a mod for like $30,000 that made my bones and like my muscles into metal, and it gives me like 120 armor extra. And you're like, well, shit. Now I know why they're taking bullets like if they were nothing.
Yeah, exactly. When you find a way to put metals inside your body, you tend to not die from a single shot, usually.
And for the most part, if you have a sniper, there's like 2-3 weapons that are actual snipers, and you do a headshot, you will blow the person's head off. Literally, as long as you don't make the weapon non-lethal by some means. Literally. Blow the head off.
That's because sniper rifles do have a higher caliber capacity. And at that point, you need to have some actual legitimate armor, and it's like, you can put metal inside your body, but if your bones aren't capable of handling the stress, you could cover them in metal all you like, they're still gonna snap.
Yeah, man, as long as you're not like, if you're not Wolverine, well then,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna take a headshot and keep walking.
Yeah, you can cover your muscles in armor all you like, but if the base support structure of your entire body can't handle that much force, it ain't gonna do much.
And another complaint that this guy does in this article is the hacking. It's like, oh, it plays like Watch Dogs. It's like you just two buttons and you hack something, and you're like, I'm like, what? Well, what do you fucking expect it to be when we're talking about this time? Like, even the NPCs, even the enemies, when you fight the enemies and you get a netrunner to start hacking on you, because they do that. It's the little cute little notification that you get in the fucking middle of the screen that says overheating. That's a netrunner hacking you. It's pretty quick. And we're shown since the very beginning, all you have to do is look at something, scan it, and you're already there, able to hack it.
Yeah.
Because that's how fast technology has advanced. And one of his complaints
Exactly.
is like, it's too simplistic. It's not imaginative enough. And I'm like, okay, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, do you want us to bring out a laptop and start, actually doing hacking? Not all of us know how to code, thank you very much.
Or that in every single hack that we have to do that cute little code, the one, the little code game where you have to get the money from.
Yeah. That's like
quick trick. Just aim for the bottom one, because if you try to aim for all of them, unless you hard reset, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Just aim for the one that gives you the most eddies.
Yeah, I usually try to go through that, and I usually get them all. I've only failed one, unfortunately. But that was from lack of planning.
If you're going to fail, literally just hard reset. Exit, enter again. Also, in the intelligence tree, I believe, like one of the first things.
That's one of my highest stats.
Oh, you're going for the hacking run. I prefer going for killing.
Intelligence and strength are my highest. Well, body is how this game labels it, I should say.
Oh, that's true. Well, intelligence, I'm pretty sure you've updated then. There's this one cute little ability that in every playthrough I put it. It increases the money you get from that little hack by like 100%. So instead of like in the beginning, you get
data
like
mine.
The data mine.
I've already leveled it up to level 2, so because I saw that I'm like, I can get extra money this early in the game. Fuck yeah!
It's absolutely necessary. I'm sorry. You know what it is? Being able to get anywhere from like 800 to 1,000 eddies every time you get into those, and like everywhere you go, there's at least 2. That's money. That's economy
I know.
right there.
I could. When I saw eddies and euro dollars, I assumed it was money, especially in the context that people are saying it in.
Yeah, I love the slang. Saying eddies. Eddies, euro dollars, eddies. I just love it. So this guy tries to go after these little points in the game where obviously he's coming from a camp point. This is back in 2019 or some shit like that when the E3 trailer came out. You're coming from a point. Yeah, June 12th, 2019. We're coming from a point where you don't actually see much of the game. They give us like this is a teaser of what it is, of what's to come. So coming from that viewpoint, you can somewhat understand why he's complaining, but at the same time, the entire article, and we'll put the links down below and the description so you guys can read it yourselves and have your own opinions of it, because there's nothing more important than free thought of one's own opinions. When you read it, for me at least, it read like this 12-year-old kid complaining about everything without really knowing anything. He just picked at things because he wanted to complain and didn't see for the world and for what it was and for what it was described to him as. It's this mentality that you come into, and it's a mentality that people like him tend to come into, and they just come with this mindset to nitpick. And honestly, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm sorry. Nobody gives a damn if you're trying to shit on every little aspect of the game.
And a lot of the reasons why they're shitting on these type of things is mostly just trivial and
For
stupid.
clout.
Yeah,
It's
it's mostly
for
just
clout.
for the hate clicks.
They want to get clicks. Then they post something that
It
can
has
get
been
people
largely
to.
understood that gaming journalists are no longer for the gamers. They are just there because one of their friends got in, and they got in because they think the same way. They're stuck in their own little echo chamber where basically all they see is politics. They don't see the game anymore because the game is just another way for them to drive their politics.
Because that's also because that's how people are actually portraying what their interests are. Because when we see these platforms like Twitter of all, especially Twitter, fuck Twitter. I have a Twitter account, but fuck Twitter. And we'll have a Twitter account for our page for Pen and Sword. But fuck Twitter. Uh,
Yeah.
you see this that what people want are just what trends are just outrages. Oh, I'm mad about this. Oh, I'm mad about that. Oh, this is injustice. Oh, this
Yes,
is that.
it's literally just the outrage mob moving around like a zombie horde.
It's literally, and when you create a trend, when you create something that constantly is being brought up, you can't expect to be mad when people start providing that content to you because that's what gets you clicks. And so, in a way, this was brought onto ourselves by the freaking not being able to contain the idiots who like to complain about everything. And now the people who originally were on our side, the gaming journalists, the ones that said would back in the day would show us the games for what they were, and now cater to those who yell the loudest and are the ones who are making the biggest ruckus because it gives them the most clicks. Because it gets us mad and we click on this page. For crying out loud, we're clicking on that page right now. And we click on those page because we're mad, and those people click on the page because that's their point of view. That's how they see the world. And it just promotes this behavior.
Yeah, it's quite disheartening to see that this is coming out of a gaming journalist. Because this is not what we expect them. Especially with the whole thing where they were crying out that, oh, I didn't get a game, I didn't get a free copy. Which is like, okay, boo hoo, you have a company behind you that is going to quite literally pay you to play the game, and they're probably going to give you company resources to also buy the damn thing. So shut up, you little whore. So that's first of all. Second of all, then they were also complaining that they have to play a 60-hour game during a single weekend. Which is like, oh, okay, so what? You're going to review the game, you're going to be paid for playing a game and then review it. Do you know how many people would love to have that job?
60 hours? The game's 60 hours?
At least that's what was said. I might be paraphrasing.
I'm gonna have to see. Because honestly, I felt, and what kind of disappointed me was I felt like the story was a bit short, but if you tell me it's 60 hours, then I just gobbled that shit up like if it were freaking.
Well, did you do all of the side quests?
Oh, no. If you try to do every single goddamn side quest in the game, it's going to push you way past 60. A friend of ours has been playing the game since release, and just now, he has been running out of side quests. And the man has been putting 4 or 5 hours of the game almost daily.
I think people should say it's a 60-hour game because I think that tends to be the standard. Or was it 40? I can't remember. It's 60 or 40, one of the two.
Whatever.
I'm not a stickler for time.
I think the story's probably 10 hours of gameplay, 10, 12 hours of gameplay, and everything else. And there's some side quests that are kind of story-like, and they unlock certain things in the game. So I can see how they consider it a 40-hour game. But if you're going to assume the entirety of the content, this game can push you past 100 hours easy.
Yeah.
Not to mention if you constantly die and fuck up, because goddamn is it easy to fuck up in this game. Especially if you play the hardest difficulty. I challenge all of you to do it the same. It's actually pretty fun. Because anything below hard is just too damn easy. Like, the AIs are fucking stupid. If you play normal, if you play easy. Unless you really like story, but even then, I'm sorry. Even if you're the kind of person who likes playing the story a lot, so you don't want to stress too much about combat, where's the fucking challenge?
Some people just want story, man.
Some people just want story. Well, I'm sorry, but this is a very combat-orientated game. If you don't get a challenge out of the combat that you
But it's
are
also an RPG
almost...
with a story element.
Yes, I know, but the story, the difficulty of the game does not affect difficulty of combat does not affect the story in any way. This is coming from a person who's already played it twice. The story, that is.
Yes, but that's you and your opinion. Other people have different opinions.
That's true. And that's what all of this is about. This entire thing is our opinion.
Because I pointed to your earlier comment about people, having their own opinions and how that was good. And now you're coming down with the draconian thing about, don't you play on easy.
I'm sorry, but I'm just like, I'm gonna go like the big kid on the block staring down at you was like, fucking pussy, man, playing it on easy. But it's okay.
It's everybody... like, yes, everybody can have their own opinions, except on difficulty.
There are things I draw the line on. Difficulty is one of them. Okay, It's just I call it the Dark Souls mentality. If I'm not suffering while playing the game, am I really playing the game?
Okay, so you can only ignore KJ. He's being a tyrant, and therefore he loses his whole right to having an opinion.
Hey,
can I just point out that I'm the one called Draco here, and you're the one throwing the draconian laws around? Can I just point that out?
How the turns tabled. Just saying.
How the tables have turned indeed.
No, I'm doing it. Gotta do references when you can, sir. It's always important. But I think we've touched everything. I think we've touched everything, haven't we?
Yes.
Touched the 3 articles.
The rest would just be going through the rest of this, but this is mostly just a lot of, the same of the whole,
mumbo jumbo. And we've highlighted the main points of this. This is just someone complaining because they have nothing else to do and because that's what they're paid to do.
Which is sad, considering that's not what they're actually... and they're supposed to be, paid to review a game that's somewhat decent.
For what it is.
But the game is very good, it just has a very shitty release, which is going to forever, hold it down.
It's forever tarnishing its reputation. Its reputation is forever tarnished, but at the very least, if you play the game, if you put the time, you'll come to realize that the game's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I think with that we can leave off for today, right?
Yeah, I believe we have hit all the important issues. We did what we wanted to do, and I believe we've handled things, I would say, open-mindedly, pretty sure on that. We did shit on some people, some random miscellaneous people, and maybe Matt here who wrote this article, but...
Well...
But it wasn't because,
coming to them. It's not because we hated on them, but it's just because... Why are you gonna shit on a game that I really like? I'm sorry, I'm gonna defend this game to my deathbed. I will agree with you that the game had a bad start, but I will continue to defend it.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that they just have bad ideas and that these ideas are very stupid, but I believe that these are smart people that they can learn from their mistakes, as hopelessly naive that is.
And hopefully learn from their mistakes. That's the word. They hopefully can learn from their mistakes.
Yes, we hope that everybody can learn and become better people as they grow.
It's all part of it. So with that, I guess we'll leave you guys off.
Yes. This is Draco and KJ signing out.